right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to check out some more crap. I had to delete that other video because it was saying something about I swore in it. So they had to do it for certain age people or whatever. But I really need to control my temper when it comes to this crap. All right, so we're going to watch another video of America and the president admitting that they sell our weapons to other countries that are used to attack not only ourselves but other countries. Now they're trying to blame this whole thing because a mistake was made. GPS wasn't read right or changed recently or whatever, and they bombed a if it's true, a young school, a bunch 150 girls or something. So as we know right now, we have no idea, but the truth is only certain countries have tomahawks, and they were sold from us. We sold them to them. They're selling our technology and weaponry, and it's killing us. And they sit here and go, "Oh well." So let's watch this video.
Will the Americans, will the U.S. accept any responsibility?
Well, I
for that
haven't seen
strike?
it, and I will say that the Tomahawk, which is one of the most powerful weapons around, is used by, is sold and used by other countries, you know that. And whether it's Iran, who also has some Tomahawks, I wish they had more, but whether it's Iran or somebody else, the fact that a Tomahawk is very generic. It's sold to other countries, but that's being investigated right now.
That's a lie. He just lied to your face. He just lied to you. He thinks you are stupid. He is just so bold in these lies that it's actually just.
What gets me is he bombs Iran, but then in the same breath he says, "I wish Iran had more tomahawks," which Iran don't have any tomahawks. How is this going on? I have no idea. That's pretty crazy if you ask me.
It takes my breath away. As I said, tomahawks, really only a few countries have them. Iran's not one of them. They haven't got a hold of any either. And are you, I guess, like, let's just break this down too. As a president of the United States, then alleging, because we did fire missiles, tomahawks, at other buildings. Those were targets that were meant to be hit. And then it just so happened at that same time, at that same moment, Iran used a tomahawk that they somehow got a hold of that they shouldn't have and fired it at a school. Okay. That's what they want you to believe. Now, I want you to just give a shout out in the comments to this New York Times reporter, because this reporter actually asked a tough question. Yes, we're at the point where we have to celebrate when reporters actually do their job, but this was astounding, not just because of Donald Trump's answer, not just because of the question, but because a journalist actually pushed back on power instead of just being a stenographer. I wish this happened more. Here it is.
You just suggested that Iran somehow got its hands on a tomahawk and bombed its own elementary school on the first day of the war. But you're the only person in your government saying this. Even your defense secretary wouldn't say that when he was asked, standing over your shoulder on your plane on Saturday. Why are you the only person saying this?
Because I just don't know enough about it. I think it's something that I was told is under investigation, but tomahawks are used by others, as you know. Numerous other nations have tomahawks. They buy them from us. But I will certainly, whatever the...
They buy them from us. I need to say no more. We're causing our own disaster. We shouldn't be selling any of our technology or weaponry to anybody. Today, they're our allies. We send them 250 F 16s. Tomorrow, they're our enemies, and they're shooting down our soldiers and attacking American people. Why are we selling technology? We're going to pull all defense contracts. We're not going to give this country any more technology. Why? Why are we building this technology for this country when they're turning it around and selling it to other countries? Then they come to me and they say, Mr. Kramer, it's how America makes money. No, it don't. We don't sell. It's called espionage. Grounds for me to kill every single one of yous. Espionage. You're taking what I created for my country and my citizens to survive peacefully, and you're selling it to other countries, and then you're telling them to attack us. Pulling all defense contracts, everything. Don't make another thing for these pricks.
The report shows I'm willing to live with that report.
Why are you the only person saying this? And then the president of the United States says, well, I don't know enough about it. Then why the hell are you even talking about it? Why don't you say there needs to be an investigation rather than just throwing out allegations? I know why. Because you know America killed innocent children who were at school. And instead of just taking responsibility for that, you want to try to create a new narrative when you know that it's a lie. You're lying about killing kids. I mean, I wish this never happened. It shouldn't have happened. But truly, like, the moral thing to do right now would be to say sorry and try to make it right rather than lying.
Well, here's the thing, young man. I don't know your name. I'm watching your video. I'll post it in my chat here real quick. But here's what you don't know about war. And that's you are nothing. Do you understand that? You 350 million people in America are nothing when it comes to the money miser and the war mongrel. He will destroy his own country if he has to. That's what you're not understanding about the devil among us. And I'm going to tell these people once again, you will not worship thy God and then worship thy government, because you can, and it has been written in the Bibles. I don't know how many times they wrote it for you. You cannot serve thy God and serve the money miser. And that's that. There's the truth, folks. We've been selling our technologies that have killed our own American citizen soldiers and civilians. That's right. Now, they pulled this whole goddamn war thing on, and I told them, no, we don't have troops in play. We can't. How are you going to leave the America? You know there's sleeper cells in America. How are you going to deal with it? And they can't. They can't deal with it, folks. That's why they ran. Because they cannot deal with it. They knew American citizens, children, and everybody was in harm's way. And still, as we speak today, more terrorist sleeper cells than you've ever known. Right within American borders. That's why we were saying we're not going to another country for war when your country is the haven of the madness.
and putting the blame of a murder of children onto someone else. Now, we are getting some, I think this is true. This is from Senator Blumenthal. And he alleged that truly the worst case scenario is likely to happen.
I emerged from this briefing as dissatisfied and angry, frankly, as I have from any past briefing in my 15 years in the Senate. I am left with more questions than answers, especially about the cost of the war. My questions have been unanswered, and I will demand answers because the American people deserve to know. And I guess I am most concerned about the threat to American lives of potentially deploying our sons and daughters on the ground in Iran. We seem to be on a path toward deploying American troops on the ground in Iran to accomplish any of the potential objectives here. And there is also, as disturbingly as anything else, the specter of active Russian aid to Iran, putting in danger American lives. Literally, Russia seems to be aiding our enemy actively and intensively with intelligence and perhaps with other means. And China also may be assisting Iran. So,
and here we go. China, 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 China. Russia, 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 Russia. We've heard this before. All evidence. There is none. There's no evidence that China, 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 Russia, Russia, Russia did anything in America to the American people. Maybe over there in these other countries, but not to the American people. But yet these warmongers, communists, were pushing everything as Russia, 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 China, China, China. Why? Because they got themselves in a ring. They're caught. They're caught of quadrillions of dollars of money laundering, trafficking of humans, killing people deliberately to cover up stories. People, they don't even realize this shit makes Hitler look like an angel if any of this real documentation gets out of what actually has been going on. And some of us refuse to stand down. Of course, that's why we got everything stripped from us. Of course, that's why we were attacked, hit with chemicals and sickness and witchery and sorcery. We've caught these people using our taxpayer money to hire witches and warlocks to do bad things to us. We'd even caught these people paying our own family, American families, to put curses, hexes, and spells. It's crazy.
So the American people deserve to know much more than this administration has told them about the cost of the war, the danger to our sons and daughters in uniform, and the potential for further escalation and widening of this war, a war of choice made by this president, not.
Roku Ads Manager puts Roku's reach within your reach. Sign up at ads.roku.com.
Across 16 million acres of untamed rangelands, our Wagyu graze on native grass.
Can someone explain to me? I still don't understand this. How are we at war when only Congress can declare war? Like, I just like I don't understand that. I don't.
Well, that's true, young man, which I posted your channel in my chat and description. That's right. War can only be declared if it goes in front of Congress and Senate, and Congress mainly. So anything that has been going on is not legit, folks. It's strong army. It's they're coming up with now. The president can use executive order, but he has to answer to that. Meaning, if there's no weapons of mass destruction, he has to answer to that. If they struck a school and a bunch of kids died, he has to answer to that. If there is a bunch of money missing from the war defense system, he has to answer to that. If there's a lot of weapons missing and deals being done illegally without Congress knowing, he has to answer to that. Why? Because it wasn't done properly. There's only so much you could do with presidential. And we've already gone 20 paces over that. And I'm telling you, this is no way to run a country. It's just digging us a hole deeper. That's all it's doing. This young kid is right. War cannot be declared in America without going in front of Congress first and discussing it. It really shouldn't be able to go to war unless the American people vote on it. Right? The president wants to go to war with Iran, and Congress has known him, and now the American people are going to vote. Do we go to war with Iran or not? If the votes come in and people say no, then we don't go to war. We'll have to do other things to help them. But when you start off, when the people we hire to uphold the laws, so us little guys don't get ran over and steamrolled and our children ain't raped and pillaged, and you're not uphold the people that are supposed to be and they're not upholding the laws, what do you got? You got nothing. The American people don't believe in nothing anymore but the citizens, family, in a country that we should have took back a long time ago. For one, you people vote for people, whoever they put in your face. That's it. You're like, well, we get the freedom of picking who. No, you pick whoever the richest son of a bitch is to put money in their pockets to sway the people to vote for somebody that is a puppet for someone else behind the scenes. And you call it democracy. It's not democracy. It's you will vote for whoever the old power Oz puts in your face. That is not democracy. That is the rich leading the rich, the blind leading the blind. And we're going to change this great country, which this country swindled it from our Native American brothers and sisters, which I'm part Indian. So don't come and talk to me about democracy or your Constitution, because when you came here, you swindled my people out of it. This was all our country, not yours. You came here by boats from another country and started this whole thing and used chemicals, well, on the real OG Americans that were here before the white man and the black man. And that's the truth.
I mean, I don't know what else to say other than has Congress just totally given up? I don't like everyone is just saying we're at war. I thought our representatives get to decide that, not the president unilaterally gets to decide when and who we go at war with. I don't know. I'm not the smartest person in the world. I'm certainly not the most knowledgeable. So maybe
Well, kid, none of us are. God is. But you're right. This all should have been put in front of the American people. This is what it is. This is what we want to do. If you vote no, we don't. We stay out of it and we'll support them some other way. If you vote yes, we're all in. The whole country is in. That's how we won against Hitler. What did they do? What did the president do? He came in front of Congress and Senate and the American people, spoke on what he wanted to do, and then he waited for a response. And the American people were all in. And when you have a whole country all in, that's how you kick the shit out of anybody in your way. And what I'm saying is you ain't got a whole country in on this. We feel like, well, we're standing here with a jar of Vaseline and the bill to pay for all this shit. Don't pay any attention to me. I got 50,000 people trespassing on me.
couldn't someone explain to me why this is happening? Why everyone is just like, we're at war, we're at war, we're at war. The president decided to take us to war. Did I learn it wrong? Like the War Powers Act. Like what? Why are we passing an act? There's a constitution. I don't understand that. And perhaps there's something very obvious that
It is very obvious, kid. Just as the Bible didn't work out for him the first time the Lord wrote it, or man, or whoever. The same thing with the Constitution when it ain't working out too good for them and they realize it. You know, we were told that this is only going to last so long. The system was designed a certain way. And even back then, this system didn't work properly. And it's a failing system. We got to overcome and adapt. And that's how it happened, kid. That's how it happened, is when this shit don't work out for them, they change it up. And they'll rewrite it. They'll rewrite the Constitution. They'll rewrite the Bible. They'll rewrite the pages of the history when the shit just don't work out for them, kid. And you're right. Any good president would go in front. He'd follow the laws. He don't have to go along with them, but he has to follow the procedures. And if he follows them procedures, and at the end, the American people are going, you know what? This president's right. These son of a bitches are corrupt. Government and Congress and all this. And then you got something. But when you don't follow the procedures and you just act like a lunatic or a dictator, and you don't go in front of the American people, and you don't go in front of Congress and Senate with a legit beef, asking the American people, listen, this is what's going on. We want to go in. Do we go in or not? And you wait for a response. We get that response. No war. There ain't no war. When your country is in despair, when you've been sacked 50 times with all your technology, you're coming on TV confessing to the American people that you got madmen in the country. Not one, not two, 250 million of them. what do? I don't know. You go in front of the Congress and Senate and you take the procedures. If you're going to live and not go by the laws, and the whole world sees you not obeying by the rules and the laws and the procedures, and you just do whatever because you're running it like a business, Mr. Trump, that you own, which you could do that if this was a private sector and your own business, sir. Then you would have the right to do whatever you want. You don't need the boards of committees acceptance. It's your company, and that's the bottom line. But the American country is not your personal business, sir. There are procedures and steps why your faculty, why your people didn't tell you that. I have no idea, sir, but you would have had this whole country on board with you. And we probably would have took most of these people out because we would have had so much support with you. But I don't know who told you could do this stuff. I don't know who told you not to confront Congress and Senate and say we want to go to war. And before we put any boots on the ground or drop one bomb, we are going to ask the American people. We're going to look at our financial problems. Can we afford this war? And our American people suffer and our children suffer. And now you become gods where we put you in there. And now you're deciding, well, you know what? I think American people, we can handle this. We can suffer. We can starve ourselves. We can go with the rapes and the pillage and the gangs and the clubs and the secret societies, and we can't. We're telling you as American citizens, we're done with war. We'll defend ourselves if attacked, but we ain't hired guns no more. Why? Because our people are dying. We're getting old. We got grandchildren, children. We're watching a country be ripped apart right in front of our faces. There's more people from other countries illegally here than there is real Americans. I don't know what to tell this kid. I don't know what to tell the next generation. Other than love thy neighbor, love people. Don't steal from them. Don't trespass on them. Don't steal whatever. Don't become gods. Don't become the devil. Don't become gluttons of power. What would I do if I was in this predicament and I was the president of the United States right now? To be honest, I'd go in front of Congress and say, I let my ego get in front of me. And now I'm here, a broken man in front of you, saying help. The devil's gotten in my pockets way too deep. That's what I probably would do. But then again, we're talking about a government that's a three-party system, and all three of them want to screw us right directly in the bungholio if they get a chance. Lock us up for stupid shit as they get away with stealing quadrillions and doing experiments on the American citizens. I wish I could lock that guy up. I know he just punched a bunch of people in the face and did a lot of stuff, but he's rich. So we can't lock him up. Right? And that's what we're seeing.
I don't get, but it's astounding to me if it is the case that actually, we just go to, the president just takes us to war now, and Congress, all that their whole role in it is being disappointed. Regardless, it is a very worrying interview here that Blumenthal is saying that we're going to have American troops on the ground. Again, I don't understand how any of this is possible without a declaration of war from Congress. I truly think 20, 30 years ago, if a different president were doing the same thing, he'd be impeached. But I guess that's where we are.
But here's the thing, kid. Here's the thing. You're on the right track. It shouldn't be happening. There is no declaration of war. But let me tell you a little secret, kid. Don't worry, because that's why he can't put American troops on the ground there. Because he don't have a sanctioned declaration from Congress or Senate to put our boys on the ground. So what can he do? The only thing he can do is attack from above, death from above. That's it. He can't put boots on the ground. He knows it. The American people know it. I'm dumb, kid. I got brain damage. But for the past 10 years, all I had to do was sit around and learn shit. My brain hurts me. I'm dumb. But there's one thing I took an oath to when I was in school, and that was Pledge Allegiance of America. And there was one other thing, kid, that I had military people around me when I was growing up. So I knew you can't do anything and have American group boots on the ground, not unless it was sanctioned by Congress and Senate. That's what the three-party system is there for. And I also agree with you, kid. I have no idea why we're not seeing different things go on. But I can tell you this much. They're getting ready to release a bunch of oil into the USA. And there's already talk that gas prices, once they do this, are going to soar. They're not going to go down. Why? Because we're at war. It's all a catch-22. Are the talks of war going to go? No, not when you own a military defense contract and you're building all this stuff for them. What's your main thing? Well, you wake up every morning hoping and praying somebody just scratches your nutsack the wrong way. Why? So we can declare war. Why? Well, because I want to use my new shit that I just created. Right? I got my own money into it. Yeah, and that's what we're dealing with, folks. They all want to say, you don't know what you're talking about. Whatever. I don't. God does. Why do you think they want war? Right? The natives are getting restless. All this money they spent on all this weaponry. Well, they want to see it work. They want to make sure they got their money. No, we're building all this shit, and I got all these guys sitting around. We ain't got nowhere to play with our toys. I could wipe out a whole city with this jet. I got none of. It sure does look beautiful, sitting in that air hangar there. But that bitch is so bad, we ain't never gonna be able to use it unless we start World War III. No, and that's the way they think. Demonic? Yeah, it's demonic. How long will we be here? I don't know. I love life. I love a good woman, good food, family, a lot of things. How long am I going to be here? I don't know, but the war will continue on after I'm gone. I hope I'm here another 50 years.
Right now, and I'll just feed this to you because I don't know when else to do this, but and I'll save you the 50 seconds of babbling. But Donald Trump on the SAVE Act said if we get this passed, they probably won't win an election for 50 years, maybe longer. So I will say that though Donald Trump is more unpopular than ever, he is definitely more powerful than he's ever been. And we have to make sure in November we show up in numbers that they can't change, they can't argue about in court, because this
It's too late, kid. Trump has become like a fucking Godzilla. Like a King Kong, kid. He's become Cyclops Sectra. That monster that was in Godzilla versus King Kong with the 7 heads. A trifecta sector Cyclops thing. He's become too powerful. That's what everyone's afraid of him. Even me, kid. Well, I just make content here. That's all I do. Just a little dude. Just a tiny wee man. But he's become too big. And he's saying they won't be voted again for 50 years because, well, for 50 years, the Trump family will be running the United States. That's what they're telling me. They're like, you're not going to believe this shit, Johnny. What? This motherfucker's got the next 50 years planned out. He's gonna, him and his family. I'm like, he does know we're not a dictatorship country. After he's done, there'll be no one left to run. I wouldn't doubt it. We're staying out of his. We're all afraid.
President is mad, like he's insane, and he's hungry for absolute power, and we should not give it to him. Certainly, Congress isn't going to be the one to save us. We're going to be the only ones who can save ourselves. I'm ready and willing to do what we can, do what we must to save this country. Are you? I hope you join me. I'll see you soon. Bye.
Kid, you need some sleep. You don't look good. You look tired. I don't blame you. I don't blame you one bit. You look tired. But don't worry about this crap. I've been here 50 some years, kid. This happens every year. This is an every year thing. Every year thing, kid. It's over and over. It's a repetitious, kid. It's repetitious. That's why we say it's hell. Because we go through this every year. Every year. We'll be coming up on 2030, kid. Where the world is going to melt down. All the computers are going to turn against each other. It's going to be unreal. But we went through this when 1980 hit. We went through this when the 1990s hit. You remember 2000, kid? When the year 2000, when all the computers weren't going to be able to work again because of the brain chips in them. Remember that? You remember 2010? Same thing. The computers can't. We've never been this way. They're just going to go back to the beginning of time with the kid. They create this bullshit, kid. It caused many men's deaths. Many children killed. Some of these idiots actually call it population control. I call it a bunch of madmen that think they're gods, but they are living demons on earth in human form. Yeah, when you start seeing this propaganda, Yeah. When you start seeing this kind of stuff on the internet and everything, what did you do? You just made a martyr out of him. He's more popular now than Bin Laden Buku, baby. Right? The guy you got rid of in the ocean where you told people we got rid of him. Where no one will ever be able to find his body. In the greatest depths of the canyons of the ocean. Little did you know, Jacques Cousteau and his little submarine ended up going to look for hello, I'm here, Jacques Cousteau. The great deep Arctic cavern looking for the great Bin Laden Kutumote. Well, you made a martyr out of him. And I'm done with the madness. All I can do is act. That's what I do. All I can do is create bullshit because that's what I do. Does any of it make sense? Not a lick. But I'm the one with disability. You folks ain't. I'm just sitting here telling you that all this shit is a bunch of shit. That's all it is. Instead of peace, love, happiness, helping everybody. No wars, whatever. Why did you let them suck you into war when you just got on TV, Trump, and you told everybody, we are out of it. No wars. I am the president of no wars. First war that breaks out, you're jumping into it. It's almost like he's possessed. And he might be possessed. He might finally realize that these people that he's been listening to, that made their way into his brain, all the time were lying to him. When we were telling him, no, don't do that. Go in front of Congress. And you get the whole dictator thing out of your head. It's a 3-party system. If you want to really do any good, you got to go in front of Congress, Senate. You just can't get in there and never show up at Congress and Senate to speak. Or ask them in front of the American people, what do I think this is? The American people feel cheated. Why? Because we didn't get to see you go in front of Congress and Senate and say, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. We want your support. You know what? If he would have said, we are doing great, so much money and everything, and I was getting a check each month on top of my other check, then I would be saying, you know what? Maybe there's some truth to this. But the money ain't going in the American people's pockets. It's not being spent in America on roads and everything. There's a pothole out here that's claimed 50 people. You literally got to set up a ramp so we can jump over it. Then you want to go blow up other shit, and then we got, I'm sorry, we blew up your whole country, and we're really sorry. We can rebuild it for you if you want. But why? Well, because we spent all this money on all these toys, and they just been sitting around collecting dust. And we had to use them and do something. We got the biggest military ever, but it's just sitting there collecting dust and everything. We're sorry, but here's a quadrillion trillion of dollars to rebuild your ancient cities back to beautiful gold and everything, as we're jumping cars over potholes. And eating food that not one country will take. Here, send this over to them. 6 months later, it's sent back. They don't want it. Why? It seems it's got this killer dye in it. Not one country even accepts making that stuff. But we've been feeding the American people this crap for a million years. It explains why everyone's gone crazy. Yeah. Excuse me. Well, I agree with Jim Brewer. I agree with some of the stuff Brewer was saying. We always get shafted, man. We always get shafted. We stick our necks out and we end up with the ones with the cancer. We end up with this crap. And these people walk away scot-free. Listen, I didn't bang no 1,000 women. I didn't snort kilos of cocaine up my nose and smoke hundreds of pounds of cannabis. These rich people did. Yet they walk around in perfect shape. And here we are, higher than kites. The other day, I felt like I snorted a whole quarter ounce of cocaine. And I don't do cocaine. Yeah, something fishy's going on here, and we need to figure this out. It's almost like they're swapping lives. Right? Swapping our lives out for these people who literally should be gone. Literally. They're feeding off of us like vampires, folks. And then when the shit gets too deep, they either say that God told them to do it or they turn towards the devil. Yeah, I can't put up with this crap too much longer. I've done lost my Nugan a long time ago. And they get mad because I blame it on society. Why are you like that? It's the neighborhood I grew up in. Society, my country. It's kill or be killed. Look at the way my government is. Right? You're sitting here singing a song telling Johnny to be good. Be good, Johnny. It ain't Johnny doing this bullshit. Johnny's sitting at home on his couch. It's these other people. It's these other people that are standing behind the people that you're looking at on this right now. And they're secret societies. And they're illegal gangs and MC clubs and everything. That these people that you're looking at right now on YouTube, these faces, with so much money and everything, paid to kill your children. American citizens. Why? Because they couldn't get their hands dirty. I got too close to the truth and flew too close to the sun. And my tongue got burned. And who are the people trespassing on me? Dead people. Living people. Who created what I am? This America. Society. This perfect world that you people dream of. That don't exist. Creation of God and a product of the United States of America.
We, the people, unite.
Well, hi, everybody.
Hi, everybody.
Welcome.
You know, the moments that truly change this country don't always announce themselves with.
Here we go again. Everyone wants to know, so here it is.
You know, the moments that truly change this country don't always announce them.
Well, I do have to say that was a great strategy to put the beautiful woman up on screen. We're all in deep shit, honey. This is what I need you to do. Get your butt up there on camera. Get this movie going, sweetie. Boy, our asses are in a ringer. And I'll tell you what, if I had a beautiful, incredible woman like that, you bet your butt I'd be putting her up in front. Here you go, sweetie. No, you just tell them what you want done. I want all of yous to be reimbursed, all your money and free best health care ever, and all the cures that we've been hiding for cancer and their AIDS and all their sicknesses will be released into the American people's hands, and they will be healed and saved. And then you have Trump going, oh, shit. Just do what she said, Donald, and your life will be a lot better. Just do what she said.
Themselves with a bang. Sometimes they slip in quietly, and by the time most folks realize what happened, the ground has already shifted underneath them. I believe we are living through one of those moments right now. On February 28th, 2026, the United States and Israel launched nearly 900 joint airstrikes against Iran. Command infrastructure, missile sites, air defenses, and the supreme leader, Ayatollah.
Now, here's a real crazy thing. America can't stand Clinton. Everybody knows it, but yet you put him up on camera to talk about the United States. I can't do it. Like anyone's going to listen to, hey, this is the guy that got his penis sucked in the Oval Office, then went on to become one of the top guys at the island. Put him up there and let him explain. Hello, Kelt. Have a good day, Kelt. Thanks for stopping in. Yeah, that's our plan. Put old Slick Willie up there and tell him, you know, are you kidding me? like these people have any influence on any of us anymore. Maybe at one time, but now after all the bullshit release, not really. Not really. They probably, there's rumors they are killing us all. You don't even want to talk about them, the big C's. Next thing you know, you're in an accident and you're dying. Right? We're not going to do anything to them, but they're like, shh, don't say anything about the big C. The next thing you know, you're dead. You're on a slab. Right? The same people under God. Right? This guy's, everyone is, he stole so much. When he went in, he was only worth like 560 million or 100,000 or whatever. Right? They're saying, well, he made 100 billions of dollars. Once he got his foot in the office, boom, all these things were, right? They created their wealth behind the White House. Didn't give a crap about anything but as much money as they can put in their pockets before their time is up. Cutting deals with countries behind doors where it had no, and it didn't even have any politic reason behind it. How are you making deals when it don't even have anything to do with politics or benefiting the American people? Why you're in office, I have no idea. I have no idea, but they do it. If that was me or you, the normal guy at work, right? Let's say I worked at a gas station. And tomorrow I decide to go in, but I'm going to sell all this gas to one guy that I just met on YouTube. Right? He's like, I'll be there with 6 tanker trucks, Johnny, and a stack of cash. Okay. Right? I go to work. I open up. Here come the 6 tankers. They unload every drop of gas at that gas station. Everyone comes in, I'm sitting around a pile of money, and they're going, what'd you do? No, I just sold all this gas for all this money. Well, why didn't you call the boss or the owner? No. I don't need no stinking badges. Well, there's rules in it. You can't just sell all this gas and everything and keep the profits. Why not? Why can't I do that? Because it's against the laws. Wow. Go figure. What do you think would happen to me? I'd probably be sitting in jail for the rest of my life. Exactly. Mic drop. Why are these people doing it? I have no idea. Yeah, they're phasing us out. If they can't phase us out, they're poisoning us with biological chemicals. If they can't pick up on my movie and steal it from me, they're killing me. They're killing you. They're killing everybody. And they're doing it, and they're saying, we're the government. We can do that.
Khamenei was killed. Most Americans heard that and thought, decisive, strong. Maybe this finally resolves the Iran problem. But here's what wasn't on the front page yet. Within 72 hours, Iran declared the Strait of Hormuz closed and attacked ships that tried to pass. 20 million barrels of oil a day move through that waterway. 1/5 of the world's seaborne crude, and it went dark. Now, here's the part we'll come back to in a moment. Because
Yeah. Oil. Well, you should have thought of that when you went. When did we do anything in these Arab nations and thought it was over when they've been fighting for 3,000 years? Can you effing tell me? We can nuke the whole place and they'll still be at war with each other. Why? Because it was written. That's why. And when you pump it into people's heads and nothing else, well, that's why. There ain't nothing America's done in them countries that solved anything. We can give them all the money in the world and they will still fight. Because it was written. You rock, Kel. You rock. No, you're great. I'm nothing. God is king of all kings. But you rock. You rock and roll. So fake Clinton is saying we can't touch the Arabs because we need their oil. It's all about oil, money. It's always been.
because it tells you everything about what went wrong in the planning of this. Iran didn't shut down Hormuz with a naval blockade. They launched a handful of drone strikes nearby. And the global insurance industry pulled coverage on every tanker.
Well, you know what that says? Yeah, the insurance company said, oh, shit. If we don't pull this shit, we're going to end up having to pay for all this oil. It is all a racket. The whole system. The insurance companies pulled out. What does that tell you when the insurance companies call the oil companies? You're not insured no more, you son of bitches. We ain't flipping the bill. Yeah. Couch says, and that's another reason to increase oil harvesting in Alaska. Yeah, it's all about, but yet they can't stand alternative power. They can't stand it. The way is oil, coal. You know, and together, alternative and coal and oil can work. But when you take these things from a planet, that's the only reason this planet has been here so long, is because the resources that are in the ground that keep this earth growing like a machine. And when you start taking that from it in massive supplies and it can't replenish itself, what happens? Well, Mother Earth starts acting up because it's used to a certain way, a cycle. Much like a woman's body. Incredible and beautiful woman. And now what are we seeing? We're seeing the effects of us taking too much from the earth And that will change weather. And it will cause weather. Let me see, but I like how you are looking at alternative views and solutions. Well, you have to. When your earth can't breathe no more because there's more chemicals in the atmosphere and the air is not clean and everything, you have to turn to alternative things. If it means saving my country, alternative power will work. Why do you think people are going off grid? Sure, it costs money to get off grid, but once you're off grid, it works. You can sustain life without a giant power company. And anything free to the American citizen, the working man, is good. It's not a bad thing. And why didn't they want an alternative power? Because the power companies owed me money. Because I only use so much of my alternative solar power. And that solar power that I don't use goes to the power company. And what do, Mr. Kramer? They pay me. And what don't they want to do at Kramer Junction? They don't want to pay me for the power I supply to their country for free.
Without insurance, shipping companies wouldn't sail. An insurance crisis shut down the most important energy corridor on Earth.
Machine learning is advancing, but businesses wonder if some machines can keep up.
Let's welcome our new
I don't say this to score political points.
You're not saying it to score political points after predicament you're really, I'm not up here because I got caught doing a bunch of shit and I'm a crazy motherfucker. I'm saying this for real. All right, Kelt says, but I used to be a tree-hugging Greenpeace supporter. Nothing wrong with that. I've lived enough years to realize my feet are, or is, floaties. Floaties? I can't say it. It was only hurting me. I don't know. You know, I'm not here to, I can't make people, I don't want people to do what I say. I don't want to wake up and then say one day, well, you were wrong. Oh my God, did anyone die? Millions. Right? What would I do? I probably would be like everyone else. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cause that. What kind of person am I? That's probably what I would have done. Nothing is perfect. Nothing except for God. Nothing is 100% except for God. Nothing will ever be 100%. No matter what they tell you, it will never be 100%. Why? Because it's man-made. Humans. I've already said too much and I'm already in my own demise. Controlled, trespass, magic, witchery, sorcery. That's every day they use this crap on me. Sometimes even to kill myself, they use it. Sometimes they use it on me to control me. No, it's demonic. And I fail to serve demonic stuff anymore. I refuse to do it. I never did it. And why would I start now? I never cared about politics until I got older. Became broke. Realized that the whole system is a racket. Killed or be killed, or steal or be broke. Whatever their madness is around it, I have no idea. Morals? There are no morals in it. Integrity, not when you're looking at quadrillions of dollars. You know, it's almost like the Lord said, worship me and believe in me and you will live forever. And there will be no other God before thy king. There are no gods other than God. And they just throw in everyone's became gods. It just ain't adding up. The whole Bible thing, this whole thing where here we were raised, that if someone comes up to you and they got 666 tattooed on their body, they're the devil. Or they bowed down to the devil. And now you're telling people when Jesus comes back, he will have tattoos all over him. The Bible never said that. It never said that. The original Bible never said that. It said for you people not to mark your body, scar it, tattoo it, do anything to it. That's what the original Bible said. No piercings, no scars of anything, no tattoos, no markings, anything. By your own hands. Now, unfortunately, we live in a world where we can't control that. Right? You're walking down the street, someone punches you in the head and split your head open, whatever. You know, you get a scar. And we can't control that. But when you're deliberately doing it, that might mean something to the Lord. Right? After you've read his Bible or whatever, and then he's telling us that he will return, and every one of our names are written in the palm of his hand. Like a scroll. Are written on the palms of his hand. I think we fell into this world where these people we okayed too many things. But they've been doing tattoos before Jesus, probably. They probably were marking. I think they found that one Ice Age dude. That's been like buried in ice for millions of years or whatever. Neanderthal man. And he had a mark on him, a tat, so maybe the whole dang thing is just curse. From the word go. Maybe. I don't know. I don't have all the answers. Do I hate people with tattoos? No. You think I want my own family members to die? No, I didn't. But I don't know what, it's just body art. Yeah, it is. But if you're putting 666 on your body, and these people were raised that the number of the beast will be marked, carved, or whatever on the devil's people or on the devil. How can you not? We're going to put you All right, here's what we're going to do. Excuse me. We're going to put you in a land where all these people been reading for thousands of years that you're not supposed to mark the body, do bad things to it, and the evil one, the devil, is going to appear with the number of the beast on his body, a number. All right, and we're going to put you in here. Come here. Let me get a marker. We're going to mark your body 666. Right, this is permanent marker. It won't wipe off if they try and wipe it off. It's permanent. And now we're going to put you in this country where they were raised to believe that the devil is coming, and his body is marked with the number of the beast. What do you think's going to happen? As soon as they see you, they're going to say, it's the devil. There it is that they wrote about in the Bible. It has come true. The devil. Now, we know you're not the devil because we just put 666 on you and put you in there, and you're a good person and everything. But I wanted to show you that they were brainwashed, fed it, lived it, breathed it, that this is what's going to happen. And all we did was introduce somebody with the number 666 tattooed on their body. And they flipped out. Now, what do you think's going to happen? That's like telling a United States Marine, you drop them into behind enemy fields where there's 50 guys, and you tell them you can only kill one. That's it. What? You'll be by yourself. I know you can kill all 50 and then some, but you only can kill one. That's it. Well, that Marine is going, are you kidding me? I'm bloodthirsty. That's it. Just one. Get out of there. Yeah, it's not good. And that's what's happened to us. Brainwash. Been going on for millions of years, folks. Before Neanderthal. It's just madness. And believe it or not, I'm playing into it. Believe it or not, they're poisoning me. I got a bunch of crazies living around me. They keep saying you're perfectly safe. Right? No, you're safe. There's only 6 killers that are living in your apartment complex. Serial killers. I'm sorry, I forgot to tell you. Some dark coven, but you're perfectly safe, Mr. Kramer. As I'm dying. Right in front of their faces. These people are worse than Hitler. Hitler couldn't sit there and watch these people suffer and look in their eyes. These people in America will look right in your eyes and lie to you. Hitler couldn't even do that. But these people will.
Say it because when you launch a war, and let's be honest, that's what this is. You don't just own the first strike. You own everything after. The gas prices, the grocery bills, the 7 American lives already lost, the alliance damage across the Gulf, the oil fields Iraq is shutting down because it can't export anymore. The question is whether the leaders who made this decision truly prepared for what would follow, and whether our institutions did their job demanding accountability before the first missile was ever launched. From where I'm sitting, the early evidence is deeply troubling. And that's what I want to walk through with you. Now, look.
Well, I don't know what to say there, Slick Willie, other than, yeah. No. Was it staged, though? Was this all scripted? Is what a lot of professionals are saying, though. And they ask, well, what do you mean, Johnny? Well, let me tell you what I mean. Is just when we got our asses out of all the wars and we were done, things were starting to look good. We were making money. They got sucked into another war. And when you're a puppet for other people that are in your pocket, that the basic American citizen has nothing to do with this shit. We get up, we go to work or used to work, and we come home. When we were asked, we did our jobs and we went to the voting office. We paid our taxes. We don't live in billions of dollars around us. We were working people.
Before we go any further, I want to make sure everybody understands what we're really talking about here. Because the Strait of Hormuz isn't just a line on a map. It is the single most consequential energy choke point on this planet. Picture a narrow waterway, 21 miles wide at its tightest point, with Iran on one side and Oman on the other. Every day, roughly 20 million barrels of crude oil.
Well, you know what it sounds like to me? They're up Schitt's Creek without a paddle. No, I don't know how these people want to voice it, but I'm here to tell you these people have been at war since time began. We keep losing every time we get involved. We can give them all the money. We can tell them to keep their oil, and they still will continue to fight every day. And we will still be the Gentiles, the ones that are scum of the pond. So why are we wasting our time? As I speak right now, I'm under attack. They not only attack us with weaponry, bombs, weapons, they also attack us spiritually with demonic demons, witches, warlocks, whatever they can get their hands on, they'll use. Kidnapping children, holding us hostage, they'll use it. Why are we in this mess? I have no idea. If we didn't need oil, we probably wouldn't be in this mess. Would we? Nope. Oil. Stupid stuff. They still live in Bible times over there. They still sell children over there. They still use children as work slaves. They still probably sell children over there for other things. They still live in the Bible, folks. It's just 2026. Women still are held hostage or whatever. have to dress a certain way or whatever, and just it's just they're still back in the Bibles. As we moved on into the future, it's like I was telling people with the pyramids, was there spaceships? No. What was it? It was us. What? Yeah, it was us. See, we left the pyramids and we went out into the world, see, and we created this thing called the plane, right? Why all these people were still living in the pyramids, see, back in ancient biblical times, we flew a plane over them and they were like, oh my God, it's ugly. No, it was literally us who left the pack and went out and created life, inventions. And what happened? Well, the people that lived at the pyramids and them cities around there continued to live as they did in the Bible. For thousands of years. Yeah. No, it's hard to tell them. I don't know. I tried to tell them that. You mean there was no spaceships? No. Maybe an asteroid. They mistaken it for a plane. But I know at a certain part of time, and it was documented where we broke off from the pyramids and ventured out into the world and created things that people that still lived in Egypt and the ancient pyramids in times never seen before. Why? Because they never left that town, that city, that country. It's like there's jungles that there's tribes that have never seen a white man. There's tribes that don't even know there's other life. There's other life in the world. Why? Because they've been stuck in the jungle. That's why. They haven't seen civilization yet, because there's parts of this world we never went into. No human has been there. There might be a whole thriving world that we've never seen. Why? Because we haven't been there. No one's explored it. There are literally people in Africa, these jungles on Earth, that are still eating humans. Shrinking heads and all kinds of stuff. Why? Because they know nothing else. They weren't taught nothing else.
And about 20% of the world's liquefied natural gas exports pass through that corridor. It connects the Persian Gulf, where Saudi Arabia, Iraq, Kuwait, Qatar, and the UAE produce their oil, to the open ocean and the global market. I can tell you from my years in office, every president since Jimmy Carter has understood this strait as a red line in global stability. During my administration, we maintained the Fifth Fleet in Bahrain, specifically to keep those waters open. We ran dual containment against Iraq and Iran, with the Strait of Hormuz always in the back of our minds, because we understood if Hormuz closes, you don't just have an energy crisis, you have an economic earthquake that hits every gas station in America, every factory in Europe, every power grid in Asia. And this is where things start to get complicated. Because for 50 years, Iran threatened to close this strait and never did. It was always the hypothetical nightmare, the scenario you wargamed but prayed you'd never see. Well, it's not hypothetical anymore. And here's what concerns me most. This didn't happen because Iran attacked us out of nowhere. It happened as a direct, predictable consequence of an offensive military campaign, a war of choice aimed at regime change. Every serious strategic thinker in Washington knew that if you hit Iran hard enough, Hormuz was the leverage they'd use. That wasn't a surprise. It was a certainty. So the question becomes, if everybody knew this was coming, why does it feel like nobody planned for it?
I don't know, and I don't care. I don't know, and I don't care, really. What we need is the Lord. And we need to close the door to these spirits and evil talk or whatever. In Jesus' name. Close the door, Jesus. I don't want to see no more, hear no more of this, man. I'm cursing myself by even talking about this stuff. For all I know, what about these people that supposedly leave their bodies at night when they sleep? What if these people are walking around in their sleep? They're having an out-of-body experience. And what if they're coming to us and they don't even really realize that in their sleep they're like spirit walking or whatever, and they're actually coming to visit us, and then we think we're flipping out because we're awake. We can't see what's going on. And they're having an out-of-body experience, and then they're walking in the spirit or whatever. And we end up attacking them because we think it's a demon or something. Forgive us, Lord. Here's our children that might be one of these people that are chosen or have special powers. And they go to sleep, and as we're sitting here, they're sleeping, but they're having an out-of-body experiment, and they're running around us, Daddy, Daddy. And we can't see. We don't know what's going on. And here we are attacking it or trying to bind it, and it's our own families. We think it's demons because we were raised on this stuff. Oh my God, it's a ghost, a demon. And here it is, somebody that we love that's just having an out-of-body experience while they sleep. Hopefully we don't scare them and we scare them into a heart attack or dying or something. People don't even think about this stuff. Why am I? That's my question to all you scientists out there and doctors. It ain't real. It is real. We're danged if we believe in it. And we're danged if we don't. I do believe I'm being used myself to say stuff for someone else that can't say it for themselves. Or they're doing exactly what I said, cursing me, spelling me, maybe out of body as they're sleeping right now. They're controlling me. And they're saying things because they want me killed. These things might be real. I don't know. The Bible spoke of it. We got someone trespassing on me as we speak. Maybe it's time for me just to shut up on my opinions. I'm an idiot anyways. The only time they ask me anything is when it's voting time, or time to pay taxes, or time to pay a bill. Other than that, they have no use for me. I keep asking God to save us all. Heal us. And I keep making mistakes and ending up right back where I started. I ain't perfect. I'm a sinner myself. Just I chose to break the curses, and I chose to break the routine. And the brainwashing. I keep forgetting we're at war with things we can't see. That it's not the people we think it is, it's demons. This thing creates hate, anger, makes the people we love become enemies. And I don't want nothing to do with it. Now you folks have a good night. I have health problems myself. We all do. We're citizens of the United States of America. We've been attacked from the day we were born. And I can only thank the God we live this long. You folks have a good night. God bless. All glory to God. We'll see you next video.